All right, fifth graders, welcome back to another electronic math chat. This is math chat number 7, and we have been diving into module 5 during these math chats and kind of analyzing and looking into volume a little better and understanding what volume means and comparing it to area and a connection to something you learned in 4th grade. I'm going to get started and we are going to read our I can and success criteria statements. So today I can find the total volume of solid figures composed of 2 non-overlapping rectangular prisms, and you're successful when you can identify the volume of an irregular right rectangular prism. There's some big words. Basically what that means is we're going to be working with 2 different rectangular prisms that are put together, like what you'll see right here. And you're not going to be given the information for for each of the different rectangular prisms. You're going to have to dissect the information that's given to you to find the volume of each prism individually and then add it together to get the overall volume. That's essentially what we're doing. So today we have 4 problems that I want you guys to work on, and I'm going to do the first one with you guys, and I might help you out with the second one. And then I'm going to have you guys work on the 3rd and 4th one on your own. So, just starting back up here, a refresher for what volume is. I want you guys to remember that volume is, if you think of a swimming pool, it's the amount of water that is in the swimming pool. It's how much storage is inside of a prism or a rectangular box. And the formula for finding that is volume equals length times width times height. I can type today. There we go. Volume equals length times width times height. Now we're going to start off. I'm sorry. I apologize. I have the case of the yawns this afternoon, guys. I apologize. We're going to start right here with our first irregular right rectangular prism. By irregular I mean that it's not 2 perfectly aligned rectangular prisms. It is 2 different size prisms put together. So that's what we mean by the term irregular. Okay? And again, it's 2 overlapping prisms, but they're not, 2 prisms, but they're not overlapping. So I'm going to zoom in on my computer screen here. Hopefully we'll zoom in for you guys in the recording. There we go. To find the volume of this overall shape, we can't do our typical length times width times height because the height of these 2 shapes are not the same. So what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to find the volume of this right rectangular prism. Okay, we'll call that volume of prism 1. The volume of this right rectangular prism, we'll call it prism 2. Then once I have this volume and this volume, I'm going to add them together to get the total volume of this overall shape. Okay, so I'm going to start right here by looking at what I know. I know that the height of both of these together is 4 inches. Okay, and I know that they're cut in half, I know that together it is 4 inches. Whew, I apologize again. I don't know what's happening, guys. I think it's not enough coffee here. If I take that 4 inches, though, and I cut it in half, and I look, okay, well, I know that this is going to be 2 inches right here. So if I know if my height is 2 inches right here, which is the same height as this 2 inches right here, that takes 2 out of my overall 4. So I know that this height right here is also 2. So I know that my height of each prism is going to be 2 inches. So for the height, I'm going to say 2 times 2 times, because this, I can't just automatically say, oh, 4 cut in half is 2 and 2. How do I know that this isn't 3 and that this isn't 1? I know it's 2 and 2 though, because they've already given me the height of this rectangular prism of 2. 2 taken away from the 4 is going to give me the height of this one, which is also 2. Okay, so I know the height of each one is going to be 2. Now I'm going to look at the length of each one. The length of this right rectangular prism is 13 inches. It tells me that right here. The length is 13 inches. Now the length though for this one is going to be 5 inches. Okay, let me add my multiplication sign here. Now I'm going to want to find the width of each one of these. Well, I know that the width right here is 2. It's kind of hard to see, but this 2 is meaning the width right here, and that's prism 2. Okay. And I know the width of this one. See how these are not overlapping? This top prism is aligned directly on top of this bottom prism. So, and it's not overlapping on each side. So that means their width is the exact same. So that means right here, the prism 1 also has a width of 2. Now I have the length, width, and height of each prism. I'm going to calculate the volume of each prism individually. Well, I know that 2 times 13 is going to get me 26, okay? 26 times 2 is going to get me 54? 54 inches cubed. I'm going to go like that, because we always make sure our volume is a cube. And then I have 2 times 5, which is 10, and 10 times 2 is 20 inches cubed. Okay, so now the total volume of this whole prism together, imagine this is an odd-shaped swimming pool. I want to know how much water can be filled up in this huge swimming pool. Think of this as the shallow end, and then this is the deep end. How much water would fill this whole area up? I have to add these two volumes together. So I know that 54 plus 20 is going to get me 74 inches cubed. My dogs are over here playing. I don't know if you guys can hear them or not. Girls, stop. They're bored and they're tired of being bored, locked up inside too. Okay. So again, to find the volume, you find the volume of each prism individually, add them together to get the total volume. And remember, you can't just assume certain measurements go with both prisms. You have to look at all the information given to you. I'm going to jump down here to number 2, and I'm going to help you guys out here with number 2. I'm just going to get you started, and I don't want to finish all the work for you guys. So I'm just going to get you started on this one. Okay, again, think of these two individual prisms. Okay, let's think this top one is prism 1, the bottom one is prism 2, and we're going to add the individual volumes together to get our total volume. So let's look at the top here. Let's start with, let's see here. Let's start with length of each prism. So the length of my top prism right here, it tells me it's 18. 18. The length of my bottom prism, it tells me right here is 21. Now let's go on to the width of each prism. Yeah, let's start with width. Brooklyn, Lily, stop. I don't know if you guys can hear or not, but they're being awfully loud here on my end. The width of each prism. The width of my top prism is going to be from here to here. And it's telling, I wish they would have given better directions. The width is here to here. They're telling me that's 3 centimeters from here to here. So I'm going to do 3. And the width of my bottom is going to be from here to here, and that's going to be 7. Now I'm going to have to look for the height of each prism. So the height of my top one goes from here to here, and that's going to be 2 centimeters. And then my height for this one is here to here, and that's going to be 9 centimeters. So now what I'm going to ask you guys to do is I'm going to ask you guys, Brooklyn, stop. Brooklyn. They're playing like crazy over a bone. Okay, the volume of prism 1, I want you guys to calculate that out by doing 18 times 3 times 2. And I want you to calculate out the volume of prism 2, which is 21 times 7 times 9. Once you get those two volumes calculated, you're going to add them together to get the overall volume of these two shapes combined. That's all I'm going to help you with on this one. Scroll down. This one is 3 irregular prisms. And I've given you guys the space to get 3 of the prism calculations down. Just notice that the width of each one of these prisms is identical. So the width of this one is 3, this one is 3, this one is 3, okay? Also note that in order to get the length of this middle prism, you're going to have from here to here is 5 and from here to here is 6. Because this right here is telling me from here to here is 6. So to get the length of this middle prism, think to yourself, okay, well, 5 plus 6 is going to get me what? So use that information to help you discover the volume of these 3 rectangular prisms. Down at the bottom, I have a story problem for you guys. It says, the figure below is made of 2 sizes of rectangular prisms. One type of prism measures 3 inches by 6 inches by 14 inches. The other type measures 15 inches by 5 inches by 10 inches. What is the total volume of this figure? So, down below, I said to you, first of all, remember that the formula for volume is length times width times height. So height is my very last portion of my formula given to me. So I told you the 2 taller prisms, which are these 2, are going to be the prisms with the tallest height listed in the problem. Tallest height, hint, hint, right here. Okay. There are a total of 3 prisms. So you're going to have to add up 3 volumes to get the overall volume, but 2 of them are the exact same. Okay. So use that information to help you answer this one. I've given you guys about 2.5 problems to solve here because I started you off on this one and then the bottom 2. When you're done, turn it in. I will give you comments. This is not easy stuff, guys. This is pretty challenging stuff. And it's hard to do online because if we were in class, we'd have pencils and pencils and we'd be writing down the volumes and we'd be drawing lines and arrows. It'd be a lot more hands-on, but we're making do with what we have. If you have any questions, feel free to email me and I'll help you guys out. All right, take care and good luck.